Okay, people. Anyway, it is February 5th, 2000 and... you ever notice that? Shit's always moving around in my house by itself. Fucking scares me. Maybe this camera's haunted, people. That's Auntie Shimei and Uncle John saying, hurry up, get some justice. We want justice. Only the justice isn't coming, people. I don't know what the hell's happening here. Like, seriously, you don't understand. Like, I'm gonna... right, you know what I'm doing right now? I am making some comfort food for my son. Okay? I've got some hamburger here that he took out a couple days ago. I forgot about it because I've been in the basement. Anyway, I'm making what you call porcupine meatballs, okay? Maybe some of you know what porcupine meatballs is. Maybe some of you don't. I don't know. All I know is when I was in school, I think grade 8. I was in grade 8, people. That was many moons ago. Right? And I was like in home ec class. And that was one of the first things I ever learned to make. I used to make them when my kids were young, right? As they were growing up. But I haven't made them in years and years. And they're really easy to make. So I'm going to show you how to make them. And I've been wanting them for a while for whatever reason. Maybe I'm missing my kids, people. You know, maybe I'm missing the peace and liberty in Canada. You know, maybe I'm missing Uncle John. I'm definitely missing something here. So anyway, I'm making porcupine meatballs for my son and for Andre and whatnot, right? Just a little bit of comfort food, right? And what the hell? Do you hear that? Something moving around over there too. And I'm gonna just show you how to do that, right? Really, what I want to do is get back into Auntie Shimei's monologue and finish reading that on live. But like, I was in the basement pretty much for like 7 hours yesterday, and today, I don't know, I had a little bit of a hollering match with Andre, so he got grounded to his room for a while, and so I've been just kind of like in here washing my floor, and because I'm having to move stuff out of my house, people, right, to make room to be able to move Amari. It's not like Amari can walk, right? We have to either carry him, but there's going to come a point, people, when I just won't be able to carry him. So, you know, whether I wheel him around in the house in a little, you know, buggy, or I'm thinking to kind of make a pull wagon that I can pull, you know, put him in the wagon and then pull it. Andre can help me, whatever, right? But outside of that, like this here, I don't know, you can't see it. There used to be something here. I've managed to get rid of that, but now I'm kind of like having to move all this, and, you know, it's like my life is just completely ruined, people. And I'm trying to hold it together. So, what's bugging me right now, though, is... let me get some garlic. What's bugging me right now is... well, I'm kind of bugged, but then I'm kind of grateful, okay? Where I'm bugged is I had an individual go into one of my videos where I was using my camera and the magnifying lens, right, glass lens, you know, sitting there by myself, spooking myself while I was doing it, zooming in right into Shimei's face, and just when she was in the hospital bed. So just, you know, all what was around her in terms of the tubing, you know, her face, whatever. I was using different, trying to use different techniques, you know, cropping, zooming, magnifying glass, you know, and of course you get the glare on the computer, right, from the lens because of whatever. And I mean, was it perfect? Was it a perfect video, people? Obviously not. It wasn't a perfect video. But, you know, this person, they came in and they basically said that I was wasting time, obviously their time, right? Because I didn't get to the point as to who Shmay was, how she died. Now, mind you, I've got a really bad headache, okay? I woke up with a headache today. So, anyway, right? And how she died, and blah, blah, and, you know, told me that, you know, I should be talking about that shit versus, you know, trying to isolate areas within the few pictures that I have in relation to the actual decomposition, decomposing of her body while on machines, right? Because as it is right now, people, nobody is going to court with me. I'm going to end up going by myself. And, you know, I don't expect much to happen. I really don't. Because they're not going to allow it to happen, people, because they don't want the organ train to dry up. Okay? For some reason, the public union sector, I don't know what the hell is wrong with these people. And some of them, I don't even think they're people anymore, people. I think the government, through their 25 years of advancement in terms of, you know, advance with the general population, with their technologies and shit like this, I think they've diced and spliced the DNA of their experiments over the years, that some of these things that stand in front of you that look like they're fucking human, they're not human. They're not, okay? I know there's always been corruption, you know, good and evil, and the good old Bible tells us, you know, blah, blah, whatever, you know. But at the end of the day, some of this stuff that's going on is beyond what humans are capable of, okay? You know? The gang stalking, you know, connecting into your medical files, connecting into your fucking dentistry files, connecting into your financial and taxes and those kind of files, you know, connecting into your work history and, you know, stalking your previous and past freaking, well, not previous, but your past employers and, well, yeah, previous, you know, you put a job application in, you know, and they're fucking there talking to the people, right, you know, so that you don't get the job. I mean, there's so many different forms of gang stalking, and it basically all centers to a root group that use taxpayers' dollars to do it, people. Mainly. And then they get the private sector, you know, the rich fucks, right? You know, to invest. But the majority of it is being done through government employees. And because the government makes it so that the employees are never held accountable for anything that they do, tells you that the government condones it. They condone illegal organ harvesting. They condone gang stalking and targeting of vulnerable families and individuals. And my family just happened to fall under that targeting category because, you know, I live in a racist community, people. I don't care who's watching. But when you're walking in my shoes and you've seen what's been going on all these fucking years and you can see what's going on, it's clear to show you, to say that I live in a racist community, right? Because I don't fit the standard in terms of, you know, that ideology of what it means to be a successful woman in terms of marrying who I'm told to marry, you know. Even Uncle John's marriage was arranged, people, right? You know, his wife was basically picked out, Joan, Auntie Joan, right? She was basically picked out for him, right? And Joan's mother was married. Joan's mother was married to a Duncan. And then John married Joan. I have documentation of that, people. I can prove that. It was almost like a form of incest. Because Joan's mother married a Duncan. And then somehow they got John to marry Joan. Now Joan came on a boat or an airplane back in whenever with her child. And Joan was a single parent. Or Joan's mother, I should say. Joan's mother came from England with Joan. Okay? She ran away from England for whatever reason and came out here, this is Joan's mother, and married a Duncan up in the Port Alberni area on the island. Okay? And then somehow, some way, they wanted to marry off John, and somehow, some way, they hooked him up with Joan, who happened to be married to a Duncan. But because they weren't blood related, John married Joan. And then, through family, who knows who, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Through that network of who you know, Joan got a job in the government with that superannuation life insurance policy and all those benefits. And John got a job in the government with that, well, he canceled out on the superannuation life insurance policy, right? But he had his benefits and his pension and all that shit, right? The point is, the only reason they got the job is because people in his family got the job for him. His mother was a government worker. His sister is a government worker. Mike, his brother, works with the forestry, was a government worker, right? Joan was a government worker. Joan's mother, or the Duncan she married, was a government worker. Do you see how it goes through the family line? That's why when the family is ready, that's why when a family member is ready to die, they come in and they steal the money, people. Because it's like, they think they're entitled to it. That's why John knew what was going to happen if he had a life insurance policy, because he's seen his family members do it to other family members in the past. And that's why he canceled his, because he didn't want that to happen. He didn't want my family to be destroyed over his family's greed. Because, right, they have their Catholic prearranged marriages, just like the Punjabis out here have their prearranged marriages, just like some of these Chinese people out here have their prearranged marriages, and it's all for money, right? Well, when you got a lineage, a family lineage, right, of generations of people that are, thinking they're entitled to all this government assistance because they happen to work for a government, then what happens is, they become corrupt people. And they become predatory, right? That's what they did with John. They preyed on him. They were very, very predatory. And they didn't start and stop with John. They started with Sierra, and then Andre, right? And then John, and then Shimei, right? So, when somebody comes into my channel and says, oh, why are you wasting your time taking video of close-ups of, the Shimei's face, right? We already know she's hooked up to machines and dead. Well, that's what you say. But if I take it to court with one picture or two pictures, they're going to blow me out of the water, people. They're going to blow me out of the fucking water, right? So I have to do those pictures because I have to pinpoint exactly where her body was decomposing. And I'm not done yet. I've just been busy. I haven't been able to go back and do more. Hold on. So it's very insulting. It's very insulting when some stranger that probably has very little stress in their life, who doesn't look after a disabled child and is having to empty out their house to accommodate that child, to eventually be forced out of the house anyway, right? Because, you know, they want to sell, or Amari outgrows it, you know, to end up not being able to afford another place, right? Knowing that if Amari goes into foster care, the foster care parent's going to get $3,000, where I get $300, right? Not that I'm complaining, because I'm not. It would just be nice to know that I could afford to rent another place when the time comes, when I have to leave this place. But you see, that's not the agenda. No, because my family is targeted, right? So, you know, when you're up against that, with a government that is clearly something wrong with it, you know, in terms of serving the public. They don't serve the public, people. Okay? They have their arranged marriages. Doesn't matter if it's Catholic. Doesn't matter if it's Sikh. Doesn't matter if it's fucking Chinese, Philippines, whatever. Pretty much all boils down to the same, especially if they're government employees. Because they want to keep the money rolling. They want to keep the money in the family. That's why they don't like you marrying outside of the family. Right? That's why they come looking for you when you're sick and old, and they kidnap you to take your money. Right? So basically what we got here is we've got some hamburger with a whole bunch of garlic. I put a lot of garlic in there. Right? 2 eggs, anyway, for now. And then what you do is you take some white rice, which I've already cooked. Okay? And you scoop them up in there. I got a really bad headache, people, from all this stress. You know? I know I'm bouncing with it. Whatever. You know? It hurts my feelings that some random person should come in and critique me over something that was very, very hard to do emotionally. And, you know, and I was trying to be creative about it, because when I take it to court, people, even though there's a probability, a high probability that I'm not going to get anywhere with it, I still want to suck it to them. Okay? I still want to suck it to them, people. So I took the time, and being that that person was just, you know, I don't know what that person was expecting, but, you know, again, I doubt that they have the kind of stress that I have. I doubt that their family members have been picked off one by one like my family has. You know, easy for people to fucking talk, but it's another thing for them to actually do the walk, right? You know, for some reason they seem to think they could do a damn better job, but I don't see too many people helping me, people. I really don't. I'm trying to resolve myself just to face the music by myself. Right? I'm trying to be brave. You know? I'm trying to hold down the fort. I'm trying to look after my grandson. Right? You know? With his special needs. I'm, like, you know, Amari, right? Like, I'm having to move stuff out. I don't know where to put it. I don't want to give it away. I'm $40,000 in debt. Why the fuck do I want to give things away? But, you know, so I'm having to rearrange, and it's not easy, people. I'm waking up. There's a lot of hamburger in there, so I'm going to put another egg. I'm waking up like, you can't imagine how I'm waking up. Because Amari's getting heavier, I'm carrying him, so my back hurts, so I wake up with a huge backache, right? I'm, you know, the ringing and the pressure in my head is just off the roof. You know, my feet hurt, right? My feet sometimes hurt so much, they cramp up on me, like, you know, and then it goes up the leg, right? And then I get these, I mean, I'm sure they were just trying to give me some advice, but, so it's almost like I have to do this little introduction. This is why I'm talking about this. It's almost like I have to say, okay, people, before I start the video, it doesn't matter if I'm making porcupine meatballs, or if I'm, you know, sitting there by myself with things falling around me for whatever reason, right? And, you know, I'm looking at Shimei's dead body, trying to isolate key areas that clearly shows her body is decomposing, so that when it gets to court, no matter what they do, they can't fucking deny it. That's the end goal. I don't care if they throw it out. I don't fucking care. They won't be able to deny it, right? That mission accomplished, you know. But I'm supposed to tell you that Shimei was murdered. It was her ex-boyfriend. For whatever fucking reason, he was making threats on her when she was pregnant. She used to hide up here, right? We'd lock ourselves in. We were waiting for all the windows to be smashed out. We were waiting for the house to be set on fire. We were waiting for him to come by with a fucking gun and shoot at us, right? Whatever it was that he was threatening to do, we were waiting for it. Okay? We were waiting for it, people. He threatened to kill her multiple fucking occasions, and he did. And then the cops came in, paramedics came in, they covered it up, they tried to play it off like she was alive, because there's this big fucking boom of rich immigrants, the elite. Doesn't matter if they're fucking Sikhs or Punjabis, doesn't matter if they're Chinese, doesn't matter if they're from the United Emirates, doesn't matter if they're fucking Israel, doesn't matter if they're from freaking Britain. Wherever the fuck they come from, they're coming in with their money, and because our politicians out here are corrupt, right? They're just waiting for people like Shimei to fall into their laps. Because they're body snatchers, people. They're fucking body snatchers. Right? That's what they did. They snatched up her body, right? They pinched her off from the neck. When they took her body into the ambulance, that's why they didn't want Tisha to go. Because they had to pinch off her fucking neck, run some oxygen just through the head, so that when she showed up at the hospital there, and then, you know, Tisha came, there was some color in her face. But everything else below the neck wasn't receiving no oxygen. I can tell you that, almost guaranteed. Because if they ran oxygen through... Hold on a minute. CIBC Bank wanting their money. Every month I'm behind now. Their interest. They're $300 a month in interest. As they hold my daughter's trust account, Andre's trust account, in fucking, you know, lockdown. Right? I don't know what that bank was thinking. Go away.
Okay,
go play.
Okay, I'm just gonna take an apple, okay?
Yeah. You grounded. Get back to where you came from.
Okay.
Hurry up.
I already got it.
Yeah. So, I don't know what I was saying, because my head hurts. Oh yeah, pinched her off from the neck. Because if they would have infused oxygen into the rest of her body, this is important, people. One day I'll come with the information, I'll show it to you. Right? I'm still sorting out papers, okay? They would have excelled, they would have pushed forward faster the decomposition, and they would have destroyed the organs. So the only way to preserve the organs was to pinch off her neck and to make sure that there was nothing going through there in terms of oxygen. Just going through the head to fool you into thinking she was alive. And that's when they embalmed her between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, okay? They kicked out Tisha at 6. I showed up at 9. And trust me, she was embalmed. Okay? And then she sat on their machines for 9 days and rotted as they lied for 5 fucking days. And then got scared and faked the funk and tried to say, oh, she's brain dead now. Yeah, brain dead my ass. She was brain dead before you guys even showed up. Right? Hold on a minute. I'm looking for some flour. Okay, so you can see, right? Just garlic in there, some seasoning salt, right? And some rice. And did I put the Worcestershire sauce in there? No, I didn't. Hold on a minute. Oh, yeah. And then this over here, do you see this? Old school. You remember those, right? So I'm going to use that with my comfort food. And then after that, I'll turn it off and take out whatever, and after I fry, right? Then, I don't know. Hold on a minute. Like, I'm so stressed out, people. I don't remember if I put this in there. I'm going to put it in there now, though. Right? Okay. That's all we need. And you mix it all up. And then you make your little meatballs, however size you want. Right? And you roll them in flour. And then you start frying them. So yeah, I show up at 9 o'clock, and she's already embalmed, people. They took her organs between 6 and 9. But it would have been between 6 and 8, because they need at least 1 hour to embalm a body. So as soon as they kicked out Tisha, they went and wheeled her off to an operating room, to which I think I know who took out her organs and her reproductive organs, like her eggs, her uterus, her womb, because the guy is a specialist, okay? That's what he specializes in women's uteruses and wombs and that kind of shit. He's a fucking surgeon with his own team, people. He comes in with his own fucking team. Think about it. If the surgeon is corrupt, so is the team. Right? So, every time I do a video, should I be mentioning this? Right? If I do a video, I want to do more video around Shimei's face, because there's a couple of things in there that I haven't addressed yet, that the last time I was looking at it, I noticed something. 2 things, actually. Staples. Right? Those pock marks in her eyebrow and up in this area here, that's a fucking staple. They were stapling. They were like, you know, when you shoot a staple gun, right? Or a nail gun, they were stapling shit. That's why it was puckered like that. Because it was used to hold her face in place as it was falling off. You know? So, you make your balls, and you just put them in there. I'm just frying them and shortening. Right? And then you brown them, you cook them, and then after that, you're going to do something else. So I'm really upset, people. You know? But then on the other hand, I have other people that watch my videos that can relate to what I'm going through because they're being targeted. Right? They know it. You know it. After a while, you just know it. In the beginning, you don't know it. You just think it's just bad luck or, you know, an accident. Right? You know? Not everything is honky-dory every day of your life. It's ups and downs. That's to be expected. But this predatory behavior with the harvesting of human beings and the attack of the whole family, right, is not normal, people. There's nothing normal about it. Absolutely nothing normal. And I'm going to talk about it till the day I fucking die. Unless I get justice for my daughter. And justice for Uncle John. And justice for Amari. Right? This monologue was Shimei. You know, talking on about Andre. That's just, you know, opening up old wounds. But it's important to understand and to hear it. Because it clearly documents how the gang stalking occurs. Because it doesn't start and stop with just one government agency. It goes through several agencies, through their cells, like an ISIS. And because they use taxpayers' dollars, for the most part, with their private investment that come in off the fucking airplane, nothing stops them, people. Nothing stops them. So then you end up becoming frazzled like me, as your health begins to fail, right? As people criticize you for the efforts that you make to show the truth, right? Even though it's not perfect, it's coming together in terms of those pictures, those videos that I'm doing. I'll add the link. I'll put the freaking comment into my description box, because it really upset me, people, that this person has no clue what I go through every damn day. Like, I want to start writing this notice of claim, but before I do that, there's still some things I have to do, and I'm cutting it close, you know. So far, people talking about helping me, but I haven't seen anything in terms of concrete fucking results, right? So that just tells me I'm going in by myself, no matter what, which I kind of knew anyway. You can't expect people to help you with stuff like this because they don't want to be targeted themselves, right? You know? You know, what can other people do for me? Nothing. Not much. Right? I mean, obviously I have a family, I have children I have to look after. So they're my first priority, don't you think? Right? Right? If I have to move things out of the way and I'm having a hard time doing it because I'm already 40 grand in debt, and the last thing I want to do is start chucking things out just so that the public union sector can get richer, as I'm, you know, on a train fucking wreck here because of them, basically. And I don't care if people can say, oh, she's always blaming somebody else for her problems. Yeah, well, when it comes to medically kidnapping old people for their money and making it so that young people can't go to school for the things that they want to go to school for, right? Public union sector runs the public school system, and what did the public school system do for Shimei? Not much. Like I said, that monologue, they didn't teach her how to write like that. She did. She did. And my belief in her, that she could do it, if that's what she wanted to do, and that was her talent, and they didn't like it. Because they knew that as she aged and got older, she'd be outspoken like me. The only difference was she was smarter than me, people. But she fell under the list of my family being targeted. Right? Just like Sierra's was targeted in school to be a drug addict at 13 years old. Now that only happens in school. Okay? That happened for Sierra in school. Okay? That's what they taught Sierra. Right? That's my fault, right? Yeah, no, that's not my fault. That was rich people using their kids to go sell drugs in the school so they can get richer. Create work for the doctors. Right? Bring in methadone, you know, for the pharmaceutical industry. Right? And then it went to heroin. Because there was too many meth addicts running around acting fucking crazy. So they brought in a downer. And then everybody started to get sick. And because they don't want to pay for the sickness, they brought in fentanyl to kill them off. Knowing that a whole lot of other people were going to die from it too. Because they just didn't put it in the heroin. They put it in the meth. They put it in the cocaine. They put it in the crack. They put it in the MDA. They put it in the fucking ecstasy. They put it in everything. Because they're looking for the shemays. As they come to you and say, let me help you. You're okay. Let me help you. No, you're not trying to help anybody but yourself. That's why you have your arranged marriages. Right? So that when they get old, you can go in there and steal their money. Like Uncle John. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying here to satisfy this person. Right? In terms of, you know, Shemay was murdered. Cops covered it up. So did the paramedics. So did the hospital staff. So did the doctors. And then they booked in a fucking surgeon to come in with the team. They took out her organs, took out her teeth. I can prove it, people, that they took out her fucking teeth. I can prove it that she had a orifice plug in her mouth and in her fucking nose and all that shit, but most definitely in her mouth, down her throat. I can prove it, people. That's what those videos produced, people. For the one that doesn't like the videos, it actually produced the proof. Let your child get murdered. Be treated like that. And then you sit there and look at those pictures and find out the truth as you look at them in the manner that I did. And then don't come back mad. Right? Don't come back mad. Because I'm mad. You can see it. The more I work on it, the madder I get. And it's not that I'm mad. I am mad. But I want to cry. Right? I'm just everything. I'm a basket case. That's what it is. I'm a basket case. So that's why I'm making comfort food for my son. Because I was supposed to be downstairs working today. I worked yesterday, but today Andre was ragging on me. And I woke up with this huge headache. Right? I'm not feeling that great. So I thought I'd make some comfort food. But, you know, I keep thinking about this comment where this person probably lives a cushy fucking life, has all her kids with her, or him, who knows, you never know about these user accounts. Looks like a woman, could be a woman, you know, but I'm sure their life is all honky-dory, unlike mine. For all we know, they could be the one doing the targeting. Right? For all we know. Let me wash my hands and I'll come turn this off. I guess I'm wasting time now, eh? I shouldn't be washing my hands and letting my camera run. It's a waste of time. Okay. So, it's pretty simple cooking skills here. Right? You can see. I don't know. This is working. I'm going to turn it up. And then you start frying and you flip them around, you brown them, and then you cook them. And then I can either continue to cook them in this pan, or there's a, I don't know where it is right now, but something that goes inside there, right? I can switch them around. But I'll probably just, I don't know, we'll see. Hold on. Okay. Panic attack and all. Pretty simple. Just some plain old tomato soup. Oh, I should probably be mixing this in with some water. Oh, it's not even coming out. Hold on. Okay, so I put another can, so there's 3 cans. Right, with, I don't know, some water, not very much, because you want it to be saucy. Because I'm making mashed potatoes, right? You make mashed potatoes, so you want it saucy, because this when it cooks this way, it tastes really, really good. All right. So, oops, you just bring it to a boil now, like, right, heat it up, and then you turn it down, and you just simmer it. And then now I'm going to make the rest of this food. So basically what's happening here, people, is I'm having serious panic attacks. Yep. I go through so much guilt in terms of just cooking a meal. Because I should be doing other things more important. Right? You know? Whether it's working in the basement. I'm not done down there yet, right? Still got things to do. Sorting out papers. You know, looking for evidence with my camera and my magnifying glass. But having panic attacks because you don't know how to write what you need to write. Right? Having panic attacks just thinking about going to have to go to court by myself. It's because I don't know what I'm doing, people. I'm too easy to take advantage of. Right? You're flagged before you... When you're a targeted individual, you're flagged everywhere you go. Okay? And I'll give you an example. When I went to the trial for Amari, right? December 17th of 2019, right? My lawyer asked me what my income was, right? In terms of how much money I was getting and from where. And I told him. But I forgot to mention that for the last little while I've been getting child support. Right? From Mark King's dad and from Sierra's dad. Now mind you, Sierra is like, what, 32 years old? 30 years old? Something like that. And Mark King's like 28. And the child support's now just coming in. But it completely slipped my mind. Because I don't, you know, it's not something that I can rely on every month. Even though it's been coming in fairly regularly, but it fluctuates in the dollar amount, right? And currently, right now, it's not being taken off my welfare check dollar for dollar. Back a year and a half ago, if I got child support, they were taking it off my welfare check dollar for dollar. So if I got $10, they'd take off $10, right? So, you know, now it's not like that, but who knows what's going to happen next month, right? And so anyway, I was like on the stand talking, right? And my lawyer was asking me questions. And he asked me about my income, and I mentioned my income, and then he goes, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Oh, actually, you know what? You're right. I forgot all about it. I get child support." How did my lawyer know that, people? That's what I'm wondering. Right? It doesn't matter where you go, who you talk to. They're employed with the government. It's like they got a secret file on you or something. Right? That they pass around between themselves. And if you're targeted, you know, it goes back to that ISIS group. Right? Anyway. So now, what you do is you turn it down. And you just simmer it gently. I don't know what it doesn't say how hot this is. So I'm going to just turn it down as best as I can. But, you know, it's another thing when you become targeted over and over and over again. And you know, you either lay down and die or you fight and die. I'm in the fight and die mode. I've been like that for a long time. And I'm starting to die, people. It's just too much. That's what they call soft kill. Soft kill. I've been under a lot of soft kill techniques. And it's catching up to me. Because you can't fight back, right? If I'm not getting those energy weapons going through my yard, you know, they're going through my house. And that's the thing about those things. You don't see them. The camera can see them if they go by. But you can't personally see them. Because they're just too fast. And they're on a whole different plane. And now I got this ringing going on. I just picked up all of a sudden. And then, you know, you're having to move stuff out. And, you know, it's like, it builds depression. Right? Because it's never going to be enough as Amari grows to only be forced out of your house one way or another, to end up on a street corner because there's no affordable housing and you're barely hanging on with what you got and you constantly stay in high debt because it's manufactured poverty. So it's really hard to enjoy yourself when you just make a basic, simple meal. What I'm trying to say. Do you see what's up in the alley over here? Where they tore down all the trees? Only reason there's a cop car over there is because there's probably some homeless person. Look at this weather. Look at this weather. Look at this. This is how they're protecting us, people. What are they protecting us from? I'd like to fucking know. My son has a big appetite. He said, oh, he was so excited. He's been wanting these for a long time, too. So. There's Andre's plate. Hold on. There's mine. Hold on. Cheers. I'm going to finish this video. As I eat my comfort food, people. Feeling not so comforted with those, you know what, over there, with their flashing lights, as if they do anything good for the community. Seriously. I don't like cops anymore. Nope. Not after what happened to Shmay. It's bad enough that they mistreat Sierra with their politics. Right? You know, it boils down to their pension plans. They want to get paid first before anything. Before anything else, gotta pay the public union sector. Right? Because for some reason, those 400,000 plus are so much better than everybody else on this fucking planet. They didn't protect Shmay. Nope. Not in the least. And they sure in the hell don't protect Sierra either, and they haven't been protecting Sierra for a very long time, people. They don't stop the drugs from coming into the community. If anything, they allow it to happen. Hold on a minute. Hello. This is foreign research. We're conducting a, what is it called? A survey. I just hung up. Right? I feel sorry for the people out here. Homeless people. They're so mistreated. They're not being scooped up like the Uncle Johns in the world, that's for sure. Nobody fucking stands up for them. And when you do, you get targeted. And then they go after your kids. Right? I used to advocate for the homeless people all the time. Look what it got me. Got my own kids targeted. I got my own kids targeted from the people who are supposed to be protecting the homeless people. Helping them, right? Oh, this is so good. Only I like salt. Sugar and salt. And I want more sauce, so hold on a minute. Somebody sent me this. It's called Prescription Heroin Gets Green Light in Canada. A little late now, isn't it? It's only for Big Pharma anyway. Health Canada has amended its regulation to allow Canadian doctors to prescribe heroin as a treatment for those who are severely addicted to the drug. Well, I guess that would be Sierra, but you know what, people? They left it for so long that she's so severely brain damaged that I don't think it's ever gonna get better for Sierra. For all I know, it could have been Sierra out there in the back. I don't think so, because if it was, she probably would have came to the house. But most definitely a homeless person back there, because they have no place to go. And all with this property development, with all these, you know, rich property developers and all these rich immigrants coming in, buying all this rich property development, taking orders for organs, right, for their own children, or whoever needs one. Well, just put your order in. You know, there's going to be somebody out there that will get it for you. You're already being pre-screened. Shmei was a blood donor to the school system, people. They were oppressing Shmei in school. They weren't nurturing her giftedness. If anything, like, why wouldn't they encourage her to be a nurse, people? Why? Why? Isn't that what schools are supposed to do? Encourage kids to pursue their dreams? That's not what they did with Shmei, though, right? Because they have an ulterior motive. Right? Anyway. What does it say? Last week, when was this issued? It says, last week's change to the Controlled Drug and Substance Act. Doesn't mean anything, people. Doesn't mean anything. The only thing the cops are doing out there is taking the dope. Or, sorry, no, they don't take the dope. Well, they do, sometimes. They took Sierra's when she got that fentanyl from next door. And then I went out into the alley, remember? And that cop was pulling on Sierra and manhandling her. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then he's running off with this little bag in his hand. He's going, and I'm like, what's in there? And he goes, I'm going to go test it. And then he came back and said it was fentanyl. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, why am I not surprised? They don't care. They don't care, people. They just wait for the bodies to die and be opportunists with their partners in crime. Well, Canadian families such as mine die off early. Right? I don't know what these cops are thinking. I don't know why they think they're immune. Unless, of course, maybe some of them aren't real human beings. They're, you know, genetically modified human beings. Spliced and diced with foreign DNA. And that's what makes them so callous and cold and unhuman. Like those Lucys and Dr. Ghoul pampering over a dead body with Shmei. Right? I should write a book. Call it Dr. Ghoul. Yeah. Harvesting women's reproductive organs. That's what they're doing. Shmei was extremely fertile. They needed those eggs. She had beautiful, straight healthy, strong teeth, and they took them. And their definition of fighting crime is going up and down alleys in the freezing cold and snow, right, to harass homeless people. As if there's, what, protecting the rich? That's about all. That's the only thing they're doing. They're sure the hell not protecting the public. So anyway, this is very, very, very good. See, I can go around and around and around and around and around and, no. Every time I do a video, I should just come right out and say, well, you know, I've been doing a video since 2009. Lots of shit have happened. And the only thing that's important right now is justice for Shimei. This is how she died. This is what happened. This is who did it. This is what happened after she died. Can't really name names at this point in terms of who did it, right? Because everybody's undercover, right? Last thing I need is a band of Punjabis coming after me, right? Ready to pull out their swords so they can protect the criminal in their fucking group. Did you hear what I said? And that has nothing to do with Dr. Ghoul. That's a different doctor. No wonder why I'm having panic attacks. Anyway, I don't want to read all this. Right? It's little. It's not enough. Too late. Whatever. It's not going to solve the problem. It's not going to get rid of the fucking people that are really running the drugs in the community, and it's not the petty fucking drug dealers sitting up in the bush. Trust me. Okay? They're the victims. Probably got introduced to drugs when they were 12 from the neighborhood kids. Yeah. You know, with the Normas and the Jimmies pimping their own kids. Well, the cops are saying there's nothing they can do about it. I'm just so tired of life, people. You don't know how tired of life I am. My God, look at this. September 14th, 2016. Prescription heroin gets green light in Canada. This was in 16, people. Doesn't mean shit. And here they're talking about how dangerous is fentanyl, and this is CNN.
Stolen from pharmacies and hospitals or made illegally in labs. Dealers will frequently add fentanyl to heroin to give it more of a kick. It's called cutting the heroin, and especially if you're not expecting it, it can be deadly. That's because fentanyl is also 50 times stronger than heroin. It is so powerful that just 1/4 milligram can be fatal.
1/4 milligram, people. So, for all their yakety yak yak yak, do you see what I mean? It's just yakety yak yak. Shimei died in 18. There's no legal heroin in BC. Like, prescription-wise. They have their little drug houses all over the place.
I got my food.
Yeah, okay. They got all their little drug houses all over the place. That hasn't stopped.